So, herzlich willkommen bei Gebrüder Games, liebe Leute, wir sind wieder bei Vampyr. Und wir sind bei der üblen Nachrede, also wir sollen den Zugang zur Kanalisation finden und wollten heute ein paar Bürgermissionen machen. Hier hinten seht ihr ja, sind die örtlichen Untersuchungen. Das sind ja die Bürgermissionen mehr oder weniger. Also eigentlich sind die Untersuchungen die Bürgermissionen so was anderes, aber was soll ich meinen? Der erholt sich jetzt. Und die haben beide einen Faktor. Fehlende Inhaltsstoffe, Bürgermission. Erzähle Toro Strickland, was passiert ist. Wo finde ich mich denn jetzt gerade? In den West Ends. Ich würde sagen, wir machen erstmal Frauen Nöten.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Ich kann persönliche Fragen mal stellen. Über die Wache vom Kriegen.
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, wir sind wieder da.
How exactly are
Ich kann
you
die Sprachnachricht an den Oscar schicken.
I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify?
Okay, neue Untersuchung haben wir frei.
It's simple, really.
Schaltet.
They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Gut, aber wir wollen erstmal Witwe in Nöten überzeuge Shun zurück nach Whitechapel zu gehen. Das wollen wir als erstes machen. Und Vampirplakate plus 5 hat Hagen bekommen. Diese Gefahr ist unmittelbar, als Sie denken. Unmittelbarer, als Sie denken. Sie sind bereits hier. Lassen Sie sich nicht das Königreich übernehmen. Wir sehen, holen Sie Hilfe. Ich kann den Namen nicht mehr aussprechen. Sachkundige Vampir. Sachkundige. Wie viel Zeug habe ich da noch zum Lesen? Wurde aufgeschlossen. Geil, jetzt sind wir bei West Dogs. Wie viel Level ist er denn? Level 19. Okay, da ist ein Versteck. Ist ja geil. Cool, Unterschlupf habe ich noch nicht gefunden. Dies ist cool. Gucken wir mal kurz nach den ganzen Medizin, die wir schon haben. Oh, uns fehlt uns hier Erschöpfung zweimal. Erkältung machen wir auch gleich noch einmal. Und das ist leichte Ausdauergeneration, haben wir uns auch nochmal mit ins Boot. Perfekt. So, schlafen auf keinen Fall. Weil wir noch mehr Leute heilen müssen, bevor wir uns wieder hinlegen. Also bevor wir in die nächste Nacht gehen. Wollen wir auch erstmal hier die Witwe in Nöten befreien, die übelst weit weg ist. Natürlich eine übelst langer.
I cannot enter.
Übelst langer Weg. Level 22 ist ja gar nicht gut, Alter. Also je mehr wir von der Story machen, umso stärker werden die auch.
It's locked, all right.
Lässt sich nicht von der Seite öffnen. Schade, dass es nicht so was wie Schnellreise gibt. Aber dadurch, dass es keine Schnellreise gibt, fängt es eigentlich... Ja, eigentlich ist es geil, weil es gibt so viele Spiele, wo du momentan Schnellreise hast und hier einfach mal nützlich rumlaufen. Du entdeckst ja auch immer wieder neue Sachen. Oh, Entschuldigung. Oh, nochmal sorry. So. Kann ich hier lang? Nee, dazu. Oh, da ist der Werwolf. Oh. Level 22 ist nicht so gut. What? Er greift den Vampir nicht an, oder was? Er denkt sich, ja, warum nicht, oder was? Doch. Endlich, Alter. Zehn Erfahrungen kriegt dafür. Einmal 10 Erfahrungen. Was? Weil ich den Typ getötet habe und er hat den Werwolf getötet, deswegen kriegt für den Werwolf keine Erfahrung. Das ist natürlich auch geil, ja. Was ja erwähnt ist. Weiter zu der Young Shu. Wie komme ich denn da hin, Leute? Müsste ich hier irgendwie rüber. Das ist halt so geil, dass du in die Häuser kannst und hier überall rumlaufen kannst. Ah, okay, geil. Was ist mit ihm? Was ist er denn?
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul.
Okay, ist aber schon ein neuer Hinweis hier jetzt eigentlich über so eine Person gefunden haben, dass er Mrs.
Even if we're not related.
Mrs. Fishburne.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the dock, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Okay.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
Do you need help?
Dann haben wir ihn nochmal,
Real
würde ich
doctor
sagen,
caring
oder?
about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
70 plus gekriegt für Teil. Wer ist er?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Ach, er ist Fishburns. Ist der Sohn oder
What
was?
can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
No. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
You seem upset. Is something
Den
bothering
haben wir aber jetzt
I
auch
lost the
gleich
necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
So haben wir ihn auf jeden Fall. Ja, kriegen wir nochmal 25 plus.
All these whispers of monsters got folk gossiping and scared. It's people they should fear.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed.
Das ist Mrs.
Could I come
Fishburne.
in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Wollen wir erstmal ihr Haus looten?
I can't remember the last time.
Looten, 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 looten.
It's locked.
I've been nothing but worry.
Die hat wahrscheinlich nicht so viel. Ein schönes großes Haus, Alter. Mit Kamin und so ist ja mega, Alter. Lass uns mal reden.
So you have questions about the flu then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
The orphan that regards you as a mother, please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter, and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no. My Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Muss ich immer quer durch die ganze Stadt, Alter.
Get away from me! Get the fuck out! Come on, and I will show you how a wet foot does business. What are you people, huh? Come on, and I will show you how a wet foot does business.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Are you sure you'll be able to reach the docks alone?
Young man, I am perfectly capable of defending myself.
Ich kann ich jetzt auch töten, aber wir lassen es mal erst. Höchst, also. Blutiger Brief, liebe Mutter, was ich auch zugeschossen habe, vergiss nie, dass dein Sohn dich liebt. Auf bald, meine liebe Mutter Jack.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Dann haben wir noch eine Untersuchung gleich mitgenommen hier. Und erledigt. Ist halt cool, wenn man ein paar Sachen zusammen machen kann. Na hi, willkommen zum Livestream. War richtig doof, dass ich weggerannt bin. Mann, Alter. Oh, mit der Ausdauer. Oh, ist das schwierig. Oha, Alter, muss ich voll aufpassen, dass ich nicht immer sterbe, Alter. Gut, sind aber nur noch 340 Meter. Schaffen wir jetzt auch noch. Es wird halt immer gefährlicher, komplett quer durch die Stadt zu laufen, weil die Leute immer aggressiver werden. Und auch wenn ich nicht schlafen gehe, habe ich das Gefühl, dass die Leute sich anpassen. Was eigentlich krass wäre, ohne so ein Speichersystem. So. Hier stehen eigentlich auch immer Leute rum. Oh, das war ein bisschen zu schnell. Ansonsten müssen wir ja alles laden, aber er lädt halt immer die Bezirke kurz. Wenn er da zu schnell reinrennt, so wie ich gerade, dann kann es ein bisschen länger dauern. Wir versuchen sie jetzt erstmal nach Whitechapel zu holen, weil Whitechapel jetzt am dreckigsten von allen Bezirken. Können wir noch mal gucken. Ja, also Hamburg ist okay, aber Whitechapel ist bei kritisch bei 60% und wir müssen am wenigsten auf bedenklich kommen. Und dafür müssen wir die halt hier alle heilen. Das ist 3-mal Erschöpfung und 2-mal Blutarm. Gucken wir mal noch, ob wir das schnell herstellen können. 3-mal Erschöpfung halt gesagt, oder? Mal gleich 4-mal, aber wir gehen zu Vorrat. Hier Blutarmut. Achso, dann stellen wir uns dann gleich noch die Spritzen her. Brauchen wir auf jeden Fall. Jetzt. Dann können wir mal Whitechapel komplett heilen, bevor wir uns das nächste Mal hinlegen. Weil ab 2000, 3000 Erfahrungspunkte würde ich für mich schon gerne wieder skillen. Ein paar Level aufsteigen wäre echt fett. Ja. Alter. Das Heilen muss ich auch stärker machen, dass ich mich selber viel stärker heile, Alter. So langsam werden die Kämpfe echt anspruchsvoll. Vor allem wenn die Typen hier dabei sind. Mann, oh, da weiß ich immer nicht, wo ich hin soll. Oh Mann, immer. Oh, steh auf. So, und jetzt du, Alter. Ich muss erstmal nochmal pissen. Ja, so komme ich halt langsam an meine Erfahrungspunkte. Und B ist schon gesund. Wir haben jetzt beide eine Krankheit, die hatten, waren vorher gesund, komischerweise, aber jetzt.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Den haben wir auch noch. Ey, guck mal bitte auf dein Handy. Hey, heute noch, mein Musik sieht ja, weiß ich nicht genau. Vielleicht muss ich noch mal los, vielleicht nicht. Ja.
Do you need help, sir?
To be honest, I'd prefer you take a look at my stuff. I'd rather be rich and sick than the contrary.
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally, but charity usually comes at a price. Human nature being what it is.
Do you need help, sir?
I only need you to purchase something from my shop, sir.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis. Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
Faith gives me all I need, my son. If I must fall, then so be it.
No doubt your faith will prevail, but let me give you some extra protection against the devil's work. Medicine.
Blessed be your generosity, my son.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Good evening, my dear colleague.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling. Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now. How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
This one's mine! We have to stop it!
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
You should go home now.
No, not yet. I miss my dear Matthew so much, and I can't forgive myself.
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually, you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
You're right. I believe silence has a curative effect for the pain we feel. I suppose it provides space for reflection.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
Tell me how your husband died, Schaut.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
You should not be by yourself. Grief can be a terrible trial, and it's even worse when you're alone.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I heard that she used to help the refugees, but unfortunately you don't see her around anymore.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Schaut. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.
Matthew, the world has gone completely mad.
don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game you play.
You're mine!
He's mine! Die, Berlin! Shit, that leads to... Burn it, boys!
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside. A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
You again? What do you want this time?
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. People won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barry. You know the game, you pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe?
Bester YouTuber, danke dir auf jeden Fall. Mein Headset ist schon wieder alle gleich. Mega nervig, muss ich gleich mal mein Headset wieder aufladen. Wir werden jetzt noch schnell hier erledigen Mortimers Wohnung. Dann, warte, ich lade mal kurz das Headset auf. Ja, so Leute, ich muss jetzt hier an dieser Stelle schon Schluss machen, so wie es aussieht. Aufgeschlossen. Drittes Mortimers Wohnung.
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
Naja, also der Mutter würde ich es nicht geben. Würde schon ihm geben.
It's locked.
Weil er mich halt darum gebeten hat, das war ja sein Selbstmordbrief. Und gut, dann wartet erstmal an dieser Stelle auf jeden Fall. Danke auf jeden Fall für das Liken und Abonnieren. Und wir sehen uns nachher wieder zum nächsten Let's Play. Peace out, Bruder.